Hello there. I'm going to teach you how to do something that seems to be becoming a lost art. With the advent of microwave ovens and now microwave popcorn, it seems like most people are buying microwave popcorn. It's simple, throw it in the microwave. 3 to 4 minutes later, you've got a bag of popcorn. Well, what I've noticed about microwave popcorn, and it seems to me that just about every brand I've tried has an odd taste to it. It just doesn't seem to taste as good as like theater popcorn. I like my theater type popcorn. So I'm going to show you how to make theater type popcorn. I turn my heat on to next to the highest notch. Now I like to use vegetable oil, or peanut oil would be good if you have it. I imagine olive oil would work well. And what you need to do is put a little bit of oil, and I put probably 2 or 3 tablespoons of oil. You can see what I've got in the bottom of the pan there. Maybe it's enough to coat the bottom of the pan just thinly. And I put my pan on to heat up. I take my popcorn, and again, I don't pour a lot of popcorn in. I just pour enough for how much I want. For one person, to make a pretty good size dish of popcorn. You can see there how much is there. That might be 1/8 of a cup. I kind of judge things by my eye. I don't always measure, but you can see it's not a lot of popcorn. It does not completely cover the bottom of the pan. It's pretty sketchy. I put that on and let it set in heat. It only takes a couple minutes. Once it starts to pop, then I cover it. That first pop I let go before I put a lid on it. Now, I don't have a lid that fits the pan that I'm using. I'm just using an ordinary pan, something I use to make hot dogs in or whatever else. It's just a plain pan. And this is going to be the lid I'm using. It's a much larger lid than what this is. You can see how it sets on there, but it will work. Now, if you listen real close, you can hear the sizzle as it starts to prepare itself. Now we just give it a minute to let it start heating up. Continue to move it around a little bit. Keep the oil saturating the kernels as much as possible. The more that it moves around, the better it is. The kernels absorb a little more moisture from the oil. It makes them less, I hate those little, like, almost glassine kernels that you get stuck to your roof of your mouth and your tongue. So by keeping the oil coating the beads of corn, it seems to lessen that effect. Now I've had one pop slightly. It hasn't gotten up to heat yet. There goes another one. Alright, now I'm getting 2 or 3 pops. And now you want to keep it moving. I do mine in a circular or back and forth motion. It isn't important, but the important part is to keep those kernels moist in the oil. Now some people think that butter is a good baking medium or cooking medium for popcorn. I won't deny that it does add a little bit more butter flavor, but butter burns real easy. And because butter burns so easy, it often gives your popcorn a rather burnt or ashy taste. So I like the oil better because it holds the temperature better than butter does. After a minute or so, you can hear it going to town as far as the popping goes. Just keep it moving. Keep your lid on it to keep it from popping all over. And give it a couple minutes of popping time. When you hear it start slowing down in its popping and you can't hardly hear it popping anymore, take it loose. And your popcorn is done. Now I like to use a butter dish, something of that nature. I've got here an old butter bowl. This is what I will put my popcorn in. I usually dump it into the bowl over the sink, so if I spill any, it goes into the sink. So that's what I've done. And you can see how much popcorn that little bit I put in there made. It's one of these butter dishes. It's about, how big of a dish is this? I am not even sure. 45-ounce butter bucket. And your popcorn is already made. Now, I like to put a little salt on mine. I don't get too carried away, but what I really love is butter. So I'm going to take just a moment here to wipe out my pan, and I'm going to get some butter out and we'll put butter on it. Okay, I like to use real stand-up butter. I don't like margarine. Again, margarine is mostly oil. You've already put oil in the pan. So what I do is I take, and if you notice here, you'll see 1 or 2 tablespoons marked off on here. I usually do about 2 tablespoons of butter that I will put into the pan to melt. Now I tear the paper off of it, of course. Now you have to be cautious because, like I say, butter will burn. So you want to keep it kind of moving. You don't want it to lay in one spot. You want to keep the butter moving. This is right out of the refrigerator. But I don't want it to burn. It takes a couple minutes for it to melt. And then what I will do is, as it starts to melt, I tip the pan a little bit so that the butter itself is more coated in the butter that's already melted. It seems to help it melt a little faster. And the more it's spread out, the faster it's going to heat up. This way here, it melts without burning. And as you watch, you can see the butter in the pan, how it starts to desolidify and become liquid. And when it's done, I just take this and pour it over my popcorn. And I pour it around, inside and outside. And there's my popcorn. It's already been salted. It tastes just like theater popcorn. And it's delicious. Much better than microwave. Please give it a try. You'll find out that buying popcorn in a bag is much cheaper than microwave popcorn. Has a much better taste. And a bag of popcorn that costs you $2 will last probably a couple of months unless you eat popcorn on a daily basis. It only takes a couple of spoonfuls of popcorn to make a tub that deep. That's almost as much as you get at the theater after you paid $5 for it. That probably cost me 25 cents. Keep that in mind. It may be a little old-fashioned, but it sure tastes better. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.